All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving our praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the artists of great millstone, who learned this truth from, and I like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, is Sunday, which, Lord willing, I'll release it tomorrow, September 23rd, Missile Monday, and have this article from Newsweek, and it says, satellite images reveal Russia's failed nuclear missile test report. So I'm just going to go into this article and read out a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And let me see, Slovakia says satellite imagery has revealed that a recent Russian test of the RS-28 Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile ICBM ended in failure, according to open source intelligence analysis. The test, which took place on Saturday at the Plesetsk, Slovakia, the Plesetsk Cosmodrome in northwest Russia, appears to have resulted in the missile exploding in its launch silo, leaving a missile crater and causing significant damage to the test site. It says an open source analysis active on X, formerly Twitter, at MYRC first reported the incident on Saturday. As is readily apparent, the RS-28 Sarmat test was a complete failure. The missile detonated in the silo, leaving a massive crater and destroying the test site. The user posted alongside satellite imagery posted by Planet Labs, and this is the photo that they're talking about, and indeed that is a very large crater that explosion left. And it says the post suggested the explosion could have occurred during the fueling process rather than during the launch itself. Supporting the theory, MYRC noted the absence of NATO's Cobra Ball reconnaissance aircraft during the event, which would typically monitor such launches. Their absence indicates it never launched. Neither Cobra Ball was noted flying during the firm's data indicated heat events. The analysis said Cobra Ball aircraft are especially equipped to track ballistic missile launches, but no such flights were recorded at the time of the explosion. The Sarmat, which Russia has heralded as a key component of its strategic nuclear deterrent, was first successfully tested in April 2022. However, since that test, Russia has forced repeated difficulties in its missile development program. The latest incident marks the fourth unsuccessful test of the Sarmat ICBM, despite Russian claims that the missile had already been placed on combat alert, according to United 24 Media. Further analysis shared by two satellites suggested the explosion may have triggered a nearby forest fire, with satellite data showing heat signatures from the area after the failed test. NOAA 20 and the SUOMINPP satellites have two detections as they cross the area in their orbits. the guy from Twitter posted, I'm just going to say, says it added that it was unclear whether the fire was incidental or caused by the explosion. The report comes only days after Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, a close ally of President Vladimir Putin, warned that Moscow's nuclear weapons are at full combat readiness. According to TASS, a Russian state news agency, Lavrov said in an interview with Sky News Arabia that we talk about red lines, expecting that our statements will be heard by intelligent, decision-making people. It is not serious to say that if tomorrow you do not do what I demand of you, we will press the red button. I am convinced that in such situations, decision makers have no idea. It's like you have an idea of what we are talking about. Nobody wants nuclear war. And indeed, they don't. Because all these nations know, especially, right now Joe Biden is still in office, because he knew, even before he gets out of office, man, he knew that interfering, I forget which event it was, pretty much I think it was when Ukraine or Russia first, invaded Ukraine. Joe Biden knew that if he were to get involved in any way, that again, it would spark World War III. But as we know, World War III will not take place until, the prophecy of the mark of the beast, which is spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 on down. The mass implementation of the mark of the beast that has to come to pass first before this war can happen. But again, man, these nations are ready. They're ready. So I was going to read this last little bit. It says he added that Russia possesses weapons that will have serious implications for the handlers of the Ukrainian regime. So again, man, President Putin is just like Kim Jong-un, man. He's ready to hit the button. And as you can see, one of Putin's allies, that guy Sergei, he pretty much said that, he's ready. He's ready to hit the button. And indeed, all these nations are ready to hit the button. So real quick, man, just want to get this definition from Broken Arrow, because that's pretty much what that incident was. It was a Broken Arrow situation. And, as you clearly see, it has multiple meanings, but this is the meaning I want to get specifically. It says Broken Arrow: nuclear weapon accidents, an unexpected event involving nuclear weapons, such as an accidental launch, which they claim that was. It says detonation, theft, or loss. These accidents are also known as broken arrows. While there have been more than 30 close calls since the beginning of the nuclear age, there has never been a partial or inadvertent U.S. nuclear detonation. So yes, this is just going on. As far as on U.S. soil, you've never had a nuclear detonation, as far as a broken arrow. But, it has happened, and that's pretty much what Russia experienced, Saturday, a broken arrow situation. But as we know, that in the time to come, there will be no broken arrows, man, So I'm not going to make this too long. I'm just going to hit the points. So I'm going to start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 5. And it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but they shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And yes, man, this is how this impending war is going to be fought, with burning and fuel of fire. And what is going to cause that? It's what's spoken of in the book of Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. And it says, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And yes, the modern day smiths being those scientists that are developing these nuclear weapons, man, you know, and the waster to destroy being those ICBM missiles that are being created, you know, because in the time to come during World War III, there will be no broken arrows. There's not going to be any accidental launches. You know, missiles aren't going to detonate, you know, and blow themselves up, man. No, it's not what's going to happen. So I'm going to get the book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse 1. It says, Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. And it's talking about those missiles, man, because all of these missiles that are being created are going to be used, you know. None of these arrows, because that's another name for them, you know, none of these arrows are going to be spared, you know. They're all being created for the sake of being used during World War III, you know. Verse 3, it says, A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. And indeed, man, you know, it says a fire devoureth before them. So again, once these missiles get launched, they're ultimately going to be launched into space. You know, they're going to leave the ozone layer, you know, get their specific trajectory, you know, their specific coordinates to hit whatever target. Then they're going to come back down to Earth, you know, on fire, because they're going to be traveling so fast, you know. And the flame behind them, again, as you've seen in that video, you know, that flame that's behind them is their rocket propulsion system that is going to guide these missiles, you know, in particular the warheads, you know, to hit their specific targets, man. Because as we know, this entire landmass of America, aka Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed. You know, it's literally going to be pelted with millions of warheads, man. Verse 4. Oh, and then again, before I read verse 4, as it says, in the ending of that verse, nothing shall escape them. You know, and as we know, only the elect of the nation of Israel will be able to escape, you know, the judgment, because that's ultimately what this is, man. It's a judgment of the Heavenly Father, you know, that's going to be brought by way of our Lord Yahushai, you know. But nothing shall escape them. Only the elect are going to make it and be delivered from that. But anyone that's left, anyone and anything that is left on the soils of America, once these missiles get launched, you know, they're through. You know, they're going to be burned up. So verse 4, it says, The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses and horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a fire of a flame that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. And yeah, man, these people are literally going to be sick, man, because they're going to see their doom. You know, these missiles are going to, it's not going to take long for them to get over here, man. You know, 30 minutes, you know, at the most. That's about as long as it's going to take, man, depending on where exactly they're going to be launched from. But let's just say, you know, from over there in the east, you know, over there from Russia, because again, those missiles are going to be launched in an arc-like fashion. They're going to go up, then they're going to come back down, But 30 minutes, man, these people aren't going to have time to do anything. Verse 7, it says, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. So yeah, man, it's going into, once these missiles get launched, they're all going to be, it's going to be simultaneous, man, because these warheads are going to cover the sky, man, just like the chariots are going to cover the sky, man. You're going to see these missiles coming, and as it's going to go into in verse 8, man, these missiles aren't going to bump into each other, and explode in the air. The U.S. missile defense system isn't going to be able to stop these missiles. They're going to try to attempt to shoot them down, but it's not going to work. Verse 8, it says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one on his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. And again, let's look up that word sword in this verse to see exactly what it's talking about. And it's Strong's H7973. It says shalak. And what does it say? Weapon, missile. That sword that it's talking about is a missile, So again, the U.S. is going to attempt to stop, Russia from shooting their missiles over here, but ultimately it's going to fail. It doesn't matter what they do, they're not going to stop them, So I was going to read these last couple verses and that'll be it. And it says, verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run up upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Now, yeah, missiles aren't going to be running up the walls, literally and climbing through windows. No, it's just going into how they're going to be traveling, man, because again, they're going to be going from one end of the earth to another, man, and they're going to be traveling extremely fast, In verse 10, the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Because again, man, chariots are going to cover the sky, and these warheads are going to cover the sky as well, man. It's not going to be a great day. Verse 11, and the Lord shall utter his voice from before. It's like, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, because that's a part of the Lord's army, these missiles. For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is very, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can abide it? And again, only the elect will be able to survive this horrific judgment that the Lord is getting ready to bring upon this earth, man. So understanding that, yeah, Russia may have had a broken arrow incident take place, yesterday. But during World War III, that's not going to be the case, man. The Lord's Spirit is going to be in these missiles, and they're going to hit their targets, man, because as we know, for a fact, America is going to be completely destroyed. The land of Israel, our homeland, is going to be destroyed, but it's going to be built back up. Whatever other lands are slated to get hit are going to get hit and, be built back up. We'll just have to wait and see. But as we know, those two lands specifically, America, aka Babylon the Great, will be completely destroyed and left desolate, pursuant to Isaiah 34, describing how America is going to look, after it's done burning, and the land of Israel, Jerusalem, is going to be destroyed, because the land has to be cleansed, because you still have, Amalek over there, along with Ishmael, so our land has to be cleansed as well, Yes, Israel is going to be destroyed, but it's going to be built back up, you know. So the moral of this, story is during that time, during World War III, once it's official, there's not going to be a broken arrow situation. There's not going to be any accidental launches. Missiles aren't going to detonate. And, once they're launched, that's it, man. Once these missiles leave their silos, they're going to hit their targets. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the artists of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.